Republican senators are worried that American investment companies may not use the standards of investment in Chinese businesses as they do for investments in American businesses. One America's John Hines has more.
North Dakota Senator Kevin Cramer is speaking out against the largest U.S. investment firm, BlackRock, asking for an explanation of the firm's support for Chinese companies that ignore U.S. financial regulations, and about what he calls the investment company's hostility towards U.S. energy producers.
They tend to yield to far-left environmental groups when it comes to investment in the United States, and they seem to have a double standard as it relates to Chinese companies versus American companies. Frankly, I think, throughout the country, we have to take a serious look at China investments and particularly publicly traded companies.
A serious look, says Cramer, who, with Arizona Senator Martha McSally, has asked BlackRock CEO Larry Fink to explain why BlackRock's investments are held to a higher standard when it comes to appeasing activist investors with a progressive agenda, as opposed to its holdings in foreign companies that do not comply with minimal legal and auditing standards.
The letter that Senator McSally and I sent to BlackRock focuses on the publicly traded companies that are Chinese companies where they don't have the same enforcement standards, they don't have the same transparency standards as are imposed on American companies.
According to Pensions and Investments magazine, BlackRock has voted on shareholder proposals, all reportedly in support of the progressive line on climate change, for instance. Yet there are 172 Chinese companies listed on U.S. exchanges that were in total valued at more than $1 trillion. And the Chinese regime has blocked the Public Company Accounting Oversight Board from inspecting audit work papers in China and has refused to allow its companies to follow U.S. securities law. Yet these senators allege that BlackRock is investing in these Chinese companies.
It seems to me that if we're going to run American companies through this very rigorous and appropriate transparency standard, then we ought to do at least the same, if not a higher standard for Chinese companies, not the other way around. And BlackRock is at the heart of all of that.
Cramer has also expressed concern that BlackRock was chosen by the Fed to become the buyer of corporate bonds as part of a $454 billion effort to bail out companies hit by the COVID-19 lockdown. John Hines, One America News, Washington.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.